good morning, and welcome to the Celebration Space. My name is Kaylee Phelps, and today we are talking about taking the hassle out of collecting and organizing addresses. So this one goes out to everyone who typically sends out a holiday card, or maybe you're planning a wedding, or maybe you're sending out, a birth announcement. Any of these fun things that also include the hassle of collecting addresses, or maybe you're sending some mailings for business purposes too. I've been there, I've done that. It's a lot. So collecting addresses, it can be just kind of a tiresome process. So I wanted to talk about a few ways to really take the hassle out of that, keep things organized, and then also ways to collaborate with family or business partners to be able to make the most of what you have and also keep things nice and organized for next year. And before we dive into this, I wanted to just say that if you are normally a holiday card person and you have not gotten on it yet this year, first of all, you can totally swing it and get it. We are at November 16th, so if you have a photo, you can toss it into a creator and hopefully get cards and then mail them out and get them to where they need to be before December 25th if that is your end date. Or also, if there was ever a year not to send a card and not beat yourself up about it, it would be 2020. And also, if you wanted to just send a hey, it's over card for 2021, a New Year's card, that's also perfectly acceptable. While all of our problems and issues as a country and as the world, as we're dealing with the global health crisis, all of those things aren't going to go away in 2021. We still have accomplished a lot of things in 2020. It has been a wild ride, so give yourself some credit and don't beat yourself up if you haven't gotten things out on time. So just to start with your list, if you are sending personal cards, you're going to want to start with, I usually like to say, your phone contacts, and then move to email contacts, and then social media. So first you want to get a list of the people that you want to send cards to. So a lot of time that's family, friends, anyone that you want to send that to. For businesses, that's going to start with your email contact list first, and also just kind of looking at email signatures. I think a lot of people have their company address in their email signature, so that's a good place to start. And then you can also combine with any other list that your company has sent previously, and then move to LinkedIn, especially if you have a contact that maybe has gone quiet. Just making sure that, especially with businesses, people may have changed positions or changed, companies and roles. So you want to make sure that you are sending it to the right person. So that's where you have to start, is with your list of who you want to send this item to. And then for personal, just another little quick tidbit is that I typically like to save addresses in my iPhone, so in just the Contacts Address Book app, so that I started doing this about a year ago. So just while I'm in my late 20s, so a lot of people are still moving around. Some people have, really done the adult thing and bought a home, but a lot of my friends are still moving in different apartments around the country. So I typically like to save their most current address in their address block, and then I can always move it over to a spreadsheet, but that's helpful so that I can send a thank you note or a birthday card or a care package whenever I want and just go right to their contact and know where that is. Sometimes I save email addresses there too, just for easy reference. And overall, what I'm going to say is that a Google form is going to be the easiest way to collect addresses. So if you're unfamiliar with G Suite or what a Google form is, really you can create a Gmail account for free, and then you have access to all of the Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Forms, and Google Photos, all of those things, and they're really great tools to be able to collaborate. So with a Google form, what you're going to do is basically create like a quiz or a survey, and you can just say like holiday cards and like make that the title, or can I please have your address, and make the line items that you want to collect. People will fill it, you can send them a link, people will fill it out really quick, and then all of the data will auto populate to a spreadsheet for you to be able to use and share with others, share with others, collaborate, and you can, organize things by, the zip code or the, the state. You can do things a little bit differently when you're working in a spreadsheet rather than trying to cobble together a bunch of different places. So I think that's the best. If you're sending personal items and you are working on addresses, maybe with your family, I'm like, my mom is the keeper of all of the address information, and then I usually add things to my phone, like I said. I don't send holiday cards yet. I haven't gotten to that point yet, but that's really helpful for me. And so if you have someone that's kind of like the keeper of the addresses in your family, maybe just helping them consolidate all of your family addresses in one place, sharing that with the members of your immediate family or your larger family so that everyone has access to that. And then maybe also something I think is helpful is creating a tab for people with more permanent addresses and a tab for people with apartments or that are moving around a little bit. Maybe they're in college, so that you have a list of people that, have lived at their home for 5+ years, and then you have a list of people to check in with to see if they've moved around. And they might be people that you need to periodically check in with year to year, just to make sure you have the most current information. So that is a good way to do that. Also, having Gmail that's free to create, you can also consolidate photos and do a bunch of fun things with your family. So I highly recommend that. Another way to do this, especially if you're running, kind of late on time and maybe you have a little bit more money to spend, but not as much time to spend, you can check out a service called Postable. So really you can collect addresses through there, design your card there, and then they'll mail things out for you. So it's gonna be a little bit more pricey than you collecting addresses on your own and then designing a card, having it shipped to you, doing all the postage, doing all the addressing, and then shipping it back out. They'll really take care of everything on site for you. Like I said, it's going to be a little bit more costly, but it is going to save you a lot of time. And especially if you're a business that's sending out hundreds of holiday cards, that's a really good place to start, especially, and kind of building in a budget, maybe looking at that for next year to make sure that you are collecting addresses now. Maybe set a reminder for October 1st next year to start the process, and then really try to work with a system that's going to get things out on time for you. So like I said, also, you're going to have to likely update this every year. So getting it into a system that's going to be really nice and accessible for you and your business and your family is going to be essential. So looking at what you can do with a Google spreadsheet, looking at what you can do with a company called Postable, or there's also Minted and other website services where you can collect addresses and ship things out right from them. Or you can just use their service and create maybe a prettier link, or if you're not as familiar with G Suite, you can use that and then collect everything in a spreadsheet and then go from there. But I think breaking it down by more permanent addresses and ones that you need to check in on is great. Maybe using a backup system like something in the contacts in your phone, and then also collaborating with others, whether it's a business, colleagues, or family members, to make sure that your list is as comprehensive as possible, making sure you have all the names of the people you want to have on there, from your contacts, your email lists, and also LinkedIn or social media is going to help you, just so that you're not missing anyone and you're spreading as much holiday cheer or New Year cheer as you want to do. So I hope that this was helpful and maybe will help you knock off some holiday cards or just updating your address book off of your to-do list. And until next time, enjoy celebrating today.